Okay, today we're going to talk about your science fair project, in particular, successful project. All right, so we're going to look at what you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is your journal, and that we are going to use our interactive notebook that you've been working on so far. The first thing you're going to want to do is brainstorm some ideas. So get a list of possible science project topics. Now, just to let you know some of the topics that you might be interested in, animal science, if you love animals, chemistry, physics, medicine and health. You may know someone in your family that works in medicine and health care, earth and environmental science, plant science, technology and engineering. These are all really good topics. If you have a question, there are rules of what you can and as far as your choices are for your science fair project. You can just see me about those. First of all, you want to brainstorm for your topic. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a big, broad idea and you're just going to narrow it down to a smaller topic that you can use. Okay, so start with something general. Maybe you're interested in oil spills. Now that's a pretty general topic, oil spills. Then you want to choose a specific research question. Well, maybe you're interested in what oil spills do to the marine environment. Okay, so you've got a specific research question, but let's narrow that down because that's really still very general. So maybe you could say, well, what does an oil spill do to marine life? That's still pretty general. You're going to want something even smaller. So what does oil spill do to the life of a penguin? All right, that's a topic, but remember you have to have something that you can actually test. So maybe you could start with how does an oil spill affect plants? Because that's something that we all have access to. So you're going to get a general idea, then you're going to narrow it down, and I'll help you with that. Get ideas galore. I want you to think about just anything that interests you. You may have read a book that you thought was interesting. You always thought, oh, I would be interested in learning more about that. Maybe there's something that mystifies you. Maybe you wonder, well, how does that microwave cook that food so quickly anyway? If something is a mystery, that's going to be a pretty good indication that that's going to be a good idea for a science project. Okay, something from a book. Maybe there was something on the internet that sparked your interest. Anything like this will help you make your project fun. All right, because you want to take a general idea and make it fun. Okay, so let's get started. So from a list of topics you've brainstormed, and I want you to brainstorm 5 possible topics that interest you the most. Then I want you to figure out what you know about each, and then start your research. So get a list, 5 topics that interest you, figure out what you already know about each, and then start your research. And use those keywords when you go to the library, the internet search. I would suggest that you don't be afraid of research. The more research you get, it's going to help you decide where you're going to go with your science fair project and how you're going to do it, what you're going to do. The more research you do, the easier and the best results you'll find with your science fair project. Try to think of 2 questions per research topic. All right, so if you get a topic, like I said, oil spills, okay, you want to come up with some possible questions. All right, so we talked about how does oil affect the life of a penguin? How does oil affect the life of a plant? And you can narrow those down. Give yourself at least 2 questions for that, because in reality, when you get down to the bottom of it, you're probably not going to choose how does it affect a penguin in North Carolina, because they're not in our environment. So finding how does oil affect a plant is going to be a much better process for you. Okay, let's talk about avoiding problems. Okay, are the materials you need, number one, affordable? Okay, this is what's important to your parents. Okay, can they afford it? Okay, are they available? If you want to check the rays of an X-ray machine, you better have one available to you. And so keep that. It has to be affordable and that it's available to you. Is the materials you're wanting to use prohibited? There are some things that you cannot do in the science fair project. Make sure you get your materials list approved by your teacher. Okay, how much time will be needed to get the necessary data? That should be the gather necessary data. Okay, if you are working with a plant that grows 2 centimeters a month, okay, that's going to be too long. You're not going to be able to get enough data to have a really good conclusion to your research question. So think about that. You don't want to spend months and months on this project. You want to be able to have something that you can get done in an appropriate time frame. But let me tell you, when we're looking at avoiding these problems, your creativity is going to be the key to your successful science fair project. If you can be creative in the materials you need and how you're going to do it, how you're going to go about it, you are going to have a really good science fair project. All right, the next thing you're going to do is formulate a hypothesis. All right, now the formulating a hypothesis is really kind of guessing what the results are going to be. You're going to do your research, and from the research, you're going to say, yeah, I think it's going to have this result. So, for instance, if you said, I want to investigate how oil affects the life of the plant, and I think it's going to be negative. All right, that's how most people would normally, with the research, go that route. So you're almost predicting what the answer is, and you almost know what that answer is, but we have to put it in a hypothesis statement, okay? So really, what do you think the answer is? And use that as part of your hypothesis. And what if the hypothesis is wrong? No big deal. If the hypothesis is wrong, then we just need to change something up, and it might trigger you to go further into your investigation. So if you say that the oil spill will negatively affect the plant life, but you find out that it has a different result, maybe the plants are thriving, maybe some of the plants are thriving and some of the plants are dying. You may be inspired to do something different and another portion of research, and that's how science works. You ask a question and you get an answer, and then you end up asking another question. So you're going to use a format. If I test, then it will be because that's how a hypothesis is set up. And you will get more information on that in the classroom of how to set up your hypothesis. All right, so just recapping what we're talking about today. Brainstorm 5 possible topics, and they can be general, but I want them to be something that interests you, whatever it is, a story, a mystery. Find 5 topics that interest you. Then I want you to come up with 2 investigative questions. 2 investigative questions. How can you investigate that? Then I want you to choose your topic and investigative question from these. All right, you need to find a topic and a question from step 1 and step 2. All right, so then the last thing you're going to do is once you get your topic and your investigative question, then you're going to form a hypothesis. And one last thing I want to stress to you is that you can have an adult help you with your idea. But your science fair project should clearly be your project. I want you to do your project because you're interested in it. And if you're interested in it, any adult that's helping you is going to be excited about it too. So an adult can help you, your family members can help you, but it must be your own idea. Good luck.